have the hands-on on Linux operating system. Okay, and our all the it means complete training will based on a Linux operating system. Okay, so that's the reason today's session is completely on Linux based. Okay, so in this session, I'll cover basic of a Linux operating system. What is Linux operating system, and how you create file, and how you create directories, and how to move one directory to another. Okay, so these type of things I'll cover. Okay, and what is the permission of file and directory. Okay, how can you add and delete a user. Okay, this type of thing I'll cover in today's session. Okay, so let me discuss about the Linux operating system. What is Linux operating system and why it's so required. Okay, so Linux is a operating system as a Microsoft Windows, Mac, Solaris. Okay, so just like a same. Okay, so it also provide the interaction between the user and hardware. Okay, the main thing to using why that Linux is so popular in market, because it's a open source, completely open source tools. Okay, so there are many Linux distribution currently as per the that many of the organization are using. Okay, as per their requirement or as per their environment. Okay, so there are many Linux distributions like Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, SUSE. Okay, so our complete we will it means I'll cover you all the session based on the CentOS operating system. Okay, so I'll guide you all the things on CentOS. Okay, so for that I have to create a one instance on AWS with the CentOS operating system. Okay, so let's start. Give me a moment. Okay, so I'm gonna create one instance based on the CentOS operating system. In AWS session, we will cover all the things. Okay, what how the instance is creating, and what are the it means what is security group. All the things I'll cover in AWS session. Okay, so simply for I'm just creating one instance. It will take some time to up the server, 1 or 2 minutes. This is the Git software. Okay, so you can install in your computer also for the practice purpose. Okay, So let me discuss these thing also. Okay, so this is called SSH. SSH, it's a secure cell. Okay, it's provide to take any of the server remotely. Okay, it's provide a, secure connection between your virtual server and your host. And this is my key pair. Okay, so in AWS part we will cover what is key pair also, and this is username because we have chosen that CentOS operating system. So by default that CentOS username the same, the CentOS only, and this is our public IP address. Here you can see that. Okay, this is our public IP address. So whenever you want to take any virtual server remotely, then you have to type these things. This is required field. Yes. Okay. So now I have been logged into the CentOS server. Okay. So let me discuss about the command prompt. This is appeared. This is the completely command prompt where you can type your commands. Okay. So the main thing, what is this? And let me tell you. Before the @ here you can see that the CentOS it means before the @ whatever it indicates the user. Okay, and that IP address here, the private virtual server private address is showing, but it is a host name. You can I haven't mentioned any host name. Okay, so that's the reason it's showing that virtual server private IP address. Here you can see that this is the virtual, this is the private address, the same that 241. Okay, that 241. So that's the reason it's showing that virtual server private address. Okay, and it's showing that dollar, it means you are logging as a user, not a root, because whenever you install CentOS operating system, then by default it create a one super user that is called root user. Okay, and that having all the privileges, and that having the that is a powerful account that can be create, modify, delete, make changes, any of the changes that that account can be performed. Okay, that have a capacity to do all the things. Okay, so here that once you when you take that system remotely, then it's by default that is CentOS user. Okay, so when we type sudo su, okay, I'll tell you, then see that command prompt symbol has been changed to hash. It means it's indicate you have been logged in as a root user. Okay, so this is the main key difference. Okay, so whenever you want to check whether you logged in into root user and whether you log in working as a user, simply you can identify, okay, hash or dollar symbol. Okay, if I create any user, like let me create sudo, let me take sudo is a root user, the same super user and that root user, and su, it means switch user. This is the command, this is the Linux command. Okay, so whenever you want to switch one user to another, then you have to type su. Okay, so let me add one user that you can better understand. Okay, and that symbol is also changed to hash to dollar. Okay, so now if you are doing anything with this, then it means you are working as a user, simple user. So now I need to log in it because that Ravi don't having the privilege to perform task. Okay, so come to exit. Okay, so now again it's showing hash symbol. Okay, this is the basic understanding. So okay, Okay, now firstly I need to discuss about the OS file system. Okay, that Linux file system. Okay, so in Linux distribution, OS is stored. Linux distribution or Microsoft distribution, it doesn't matter. Okay, every operating system store data and a disk. Okay, using a structure called a file system. Okay, whenever you want to store any of the data in your computer, okay, then OS provide one structure. Okay, so file system, your extension 3, extension 4, XFS. Okay, like Windows. You guys are aware about Windows file system, NTFS and FAT is a Windows file system. Okay, so in that based, whatever you are storing in your computer, that based on that NTFS and FAT only. Okay, so in Linux distribution, okay, so data is stored in a hierarchical format. Okay, that is in directory format in your Linux. Okay, so whatever the data you are Linux distribution that is stored in a directory. Okay, directory, this is also called a parent directory. Okay, and here you can see that there are multiple directories. Here you can see that there are multiple directories. Okay, so that bin, boot, dev, etc, home, lib, these are all directories. Okay, for better understanding, let me log in, let me show you that Windows C drive. Give me a moment. Okay, so whenever you are installing any of the operating system, okay, any Windows operating system, by default that C drive is created. Okay, and when you open C drive, there are multiple drives are available. Okay, that program files, okay, user and Windows. You haven't created this directory. It's automatically created by the operating system only. So as per the files, okay, so in program files, the it means whatever the software, whatever the application you are installing, and related to the also in your system requirement, that are stored into the program files. Okay, so like that, this structure is working same. We are all the information I'll discuss about this thing also. Firstly, I'll discuss about the Windows for the better understanding. Okay, so that program files store all the user data. It means whatever the application you are installing, like if you are going installing iTunes, okay, and any other software, then that all files reside into the program files. Okay, and user. Okay, so there are two users. One is public and one is Iftikhar Ahmed. It means this is my user. So all the user related data where it's showing in Microsoft user. Okay, and Windows related, all the bootable file or Windows related files are stored into the Windows directory. So same as here. One second. Now, so same that is the main directory. That is the main directory, a parent directory like a C drive. Okay, and all having that multiple subdirectories. Okay, and according to your data. Okay, so that store the information bin. What is bin? Bin is a bin, and this is a user bin. Both are same. Okay, this is the latest name of a user slash bin. Okay, so in this in this okay in this no store in the system file system. Okay, file system commands, whatever the file system commands are, it's stored into the this directory. This is actually a link. We will discuss about the thing, what is link, what is directory, and what is file also. Okay, so this is a boot. I'll show you also what are the file available in boot. Okay, so this is the boot directory. Whatever the it means whenever you are booting your operating system. Okay, so that having some file to boot your operating system or load your operating system, that files are available in boot directory. Let me go to the boot directory. Okay, okay, here you can see that grub1 and grub2. Okay, so grub is required to boot your emails operating system. Okay, so these are the files reside into the boot directory. Okay, again come. Now dev directory. So what kind of data reside in dev directory? In system dev directory, whatever the hardware you are connecting with the your system, okay, whether you are connecting speaker, whether you are connecting external hard disk, CD-ROM, that's it dev directory only. Okay, okay, and /etc. Okay, so whatever the configuration file, okay, so if you are installing any nginx, okay, apache, whatever the application whatever the services you are installing in your linux, that configuration file is reside into the etc directory. Okay, so now go to the etc. Here you can see that conf, it means that all are the configuration files. Okay, some are the directories available. When you open that conf extension will show you. Okay, so this that is etc having all the configuration files. Okay, now come to back to the it's okay etc. What is home directory? That directory having a user data. Okay, whatever the user you have been created, that will show in home directory. So now come to the home directory and check what the data are showing in home directory. Okay, here two users are there. Okay, center os and Ravi. Okay, so CentOS, why CentOS? We haven't created yet a CentOS, but why it's showing big, but because when you have installed that this operating system, now the CentOS is also by default created by the CentOS operating system only. So that's the reason CentOS user is showing. There are two users, CentOS and Ravi. Ravi is right now I have been created before some time. So all the users are showing in home directory. Okay, now come back to the other root directory. Okay, and lib, this is the newer name and older name is user lib, and libs 64 and lib 60 both are same. That is library are reside command library. Okay, so when you are running any of the command in the linux operating system like cd, like pwd, then that supporting library is reside into the this directory. Media file, what kind of data is stored into the media file? So in media file, CD-ROM and any mounted device are stored into the media file. Right now we haven't mounted any drive, so any hardware, so it will not show you. Let me check it's showing any data or not. Media, okay, it's nothing showing because we haven't mounted any media file. Okay, and any CD-ROM, so that's the reason it's nothing is showing in this directory. So MNT is also that a mount point. MNT is a mount point. If you are mounting any drive, CD drive, then it will show you in MNT drive. MNT. Here we haven't mounted any drive. It will then it will not show you any mounting device. Give me a moment. Here it's showing that file is 0 because we haven't mounted any of the file. Okay. Now come to the okay. Now OPT. OPT is a optional. It means if you are installing any add-on software, okay, not related to your Linux operating system, any add-on software, then it will show you in optional OPT. So I haven't installed any optional software. So let me check any other by default any optional software is there or not. Nothing is there. Okay, because we haven't installed any optional software or applications. Okay, and this is the proc, whatever the process you are running and whatever the process running in linux, that will be showing proc. Okay, so now go to the proc directory and check any, 1 second. Okay, so these are the process which are running. Okay, so log, loading, misc. Okay, so these are the process running in backend. Okay, so these are the process running. Okay, proc root, this is also a home directory but for the system, Linux system only. Okay, so this holding this is also a home directory, that root home directory. This hold the information about your system files. Okay, so now go to the root directory and check what are the files available that having Anaconda and original case. This is related to your operating system. When you are booting your system, then it's required. Okay, so these kind of files are available in root directory. If you guys having any issue or any doubt, then you can ask me. Okay, so no worry about that. So this is the basic structure I'm telling, because most of the student is stuck in the directory or path. Okay, so that's the reason I'm conducting this part also. Okay, so what is path, root directory, what is bin directory, boot directory. Okay, so these are the thing. Okay, so like that, these are having different datas available, slash users, slash where. In where, let me discuss with the where. This is the main thing, where. So we are holding what? We are holding all the log data. Okay, in where directory. So if we go to cd where, okay, so here you can see that there are multiple things. Okay, but the change, you have to, if you want to check the main log, then you have to go log directory, cd log, because I haven't installed any software, so that's the reason log is not available. Once we will install, then log folder also will be also created here. Okay, that you can check. Why log is required? Whenever you are running any application or any package in Linux distribution and having any issue with whether it's not running or whether having some issue, then you can simply go through with the log and it will show you that error message in log directory. So what type of error is coming? Okay, why the service is not running, so that you can identify, or that you can troubleshoot with the help of log directory. So that is the main purpose of using log directory. Okay, so this is the brief about the directory file structure, that Linux file structure. Okay, so is there any doubt in this file structure? Can you acknowledge me?
So the log means mission logs or any application logs?
Any applications log. Okay, whatever the application you are installing, whether Apache or whether you are installing PHP or whether any other like Solar, Nagios. Okay, so that log will be reside in log directory. Okay, that where log. Okay, so you have to it means I'll install also that application also. For the meanwhile, you have to understand in where log, in where directory that reside log files. Okay,
If we want to check mission logs, so which command we need to use?
mission log, in what type of log? Can you tell me? Mission log. Hello.
So I just found like I aware of like mission logs and application logs. So just want to check, is there any difference between those two? Or
So I have it means little bit confused about the mission log. I know about the application log. It means whatever you application you are installing in Linux distribution. Okay, whatever. Nginx is also for web hosting. If you are installing Nginx or HTTP, you aware about the Apache?
so
What is
like
Apache?
HTTP, right? Web server.
HTTP. Yeah, exactly. HTTPD. Exactly. So when you're installing HTTPD in your Linux distribution, okay, and if that is not running, okay, and having any issue, or if you are scheduling, or you are, it means you are scheduling any cron job, okay, and it meanwhile it's not working, then you can simply go to the log directory. It means where directory, and you can simply check why it's not running. That whether HTTP is not running, why it's that cron job is not running, what is the error message coming, you can simply identify. Okay, got it?
Yeah, got
Hello.
it.
Okay, so give me a moment.
Correct me if I'm wrong. So
Your
we
voice,
are in the logs in where log, which is like a your Apache servers, only that kind of services logs are written here, not the application logs where the whole application writing their own logs, application team. They are
No, no,
already-
yeah, that application log is also reside in where log only. Okay, if you changing the path, then only it gonna change. Otherwise, it will show in where log only. Okay.
If mount in a different location, then it will going to be different path. That's right.
Exactly. If by default it will be go in where log only. Okay. So once I'll install the HTTPD, that you can better understand. Okay. Okay. So now come to the file navigation command. Okay. So how to create a file, how to create a directory. Okay. And how to change, because here you can see that I am just running cd. So what is cd, what is cd dot dot. So let me discuss about these things, because it is a basic thing, and in entire training it's required. Okay, so that is the thing. So let me discuss the main thing. Okay, so suppose if you want to create let me go to the change the paths. Okay, so now we are in okay, let it be. Okay, so now if you want to create any file, okay, in Linux distribution, then how? Okay, so there is one command okay, that you can create a file in your Linux distribution, that is called touch, touch, touch. And then you have to put file name, whatever the file name you want to give. Okay, like demo. Okay, touch this
One
touch.
question.
Yes, tell me.
So, before this command, you entered like cds /home /CentOS, right? So without home, can we go like cd and CentOS?
No, I'll explain you that thing also, because if you put a cd and then CentOS, then it will not it's unable to go in CentOS, because CentOS is a relative to home directory. Okay, and home is related to this directory. Here you can see that now. Here, are you able to see that? One second. So all the directory belongs to that root, that slash. Here you can see that now. One second, let me come. Okay, I'll cover that part also, because I have mentioned that absolute path and relative path. Okay, in that section I'll tell you why you cannot able to go directly go to the CentOS. Okay, why it's required home and CentOS. I'll cover, because I have mentioned that in my training session. Okay, so what is absolute path and what is relative path? Okay, so no need to worry about that thing. Okay, so now touch and demo. Okay, so here that touch is when you touch is a command. Okay, and demo is the name of the file. Okay, so when you type enter, then one file, empty file, because empty file will be created, ls-l. What is ls-l? What if you want to display what are the files, what are the directory available in your current location where you are working, then you have to simply type ll or ls space -l or ls space -ltr. Both are same. Okay, so it's when you type ll, then it will also show you the same thing. When you type ls-l, it will show you the same thing. Or if you want ls-ltr, it will also show you the same thing. Okay, so I have been created one file called that demo file, right? Okay, so basically you have to learn only the thing. By touch command you can create empty file. Okay, and there is one another command is also vi, that is called editor also, that is called vi editor. By that command also you can create a file, but when you type vi, then it's bring to you one in editor mode. Okay, that you can directly put whatever the things you want to put in this file. Okay, so let me check that command also. Vi demo1. Okay, so this is the vi is the command, and demo1 is a name of the file which you are creating. Okay, so now you came into the editor file. So if you want any data, if you want to type anything in this file, then you have to simply press I, because in VI editor, if you want to work, then firstly you have to enter in insert mode, then only you can able to do make changes in this file. Okay, so in you simply you have to press on your keyboard I. It shows that you can see there that insert. Okay, now you are insert mode. Okay, so whatever the doubt, this is the first demo file. Okay, so this is the content you have put it. Okay, and then for if you want to save this file, then you have to again exit from the insert mode, because right now you are insert mode. Okay, so for exiting insert mode, you have to press escape key on your keyboard. Okay, now insert mode is gone. For save the data, you have to press colon write and quit. Here you can see W stand colon W stand for write and Q as in quit. It means it will whatever the you have made changes in this file, it will be uh, permanently write in this direct file. Okay, and simply press enter. Okay, now you have put your data. So here you can see that by touch command you can also create a file, but it will create empty file. And VI by using VI command you can also create a file, but if you using VI, then it's when to in editor mode you have to put some data at the same time, then you have to save and create. Okay, so for read this file, what data is inside in this file, so you have to simply type cat is a command to read file. Okay, so other command is also later we will discuss. Cat, more, less, okay, head, tail are also used for the read the file only. Okay, so right now we will discuss about the cat only. Okay, for the learning purpose. So cat demo 1, I want to see what are the data available in demo 1. Then we have to type cat and then file name and press enter. It is showing this is the first demo file which I have been created. Okay, and if we do cat demo, here you can see that because we have created demo file also. Simply enter. It's nothing showing because there is no data. We have been created empty file. Got it? Please acknowledge me.
Yes.
Okay, okay. So you got the difference between VI or touch. Okay, and now come to the directory. How to make directory? Okay, in Linux distribution, you have by using touch command or VI command, you can simply create file. Okay, and if you want to create a directory, then what is the command? Okay, so for creating directory, you have to type a mkdir command, and then directory name. The directory name will be whatever you want to give, like demo 3. Okay, and press enter. This is mkdir is a command and demo 3 is a name. Press enter. Done. And if you want to see whether the directory has been created or not, then what the command you need to type ls-l. You can use this command also. You can use ls-ltr also. Okay, and you can use ll. Okay, so all are same. Okay, so here for the short purpose we are I'm using ll. Okay, so here you can see that the demo 3 has been created. Okay, and that color is also blue. That indicates that this is the directory. Okay, that demo and demo 1 are file, and this is the directory which I have been created. Okay, so now you have been created file and directory. Okay, now come to the point. Suppose if you are working somewhere in Linux distribution and you doesn't know where you are working. Okay, what is the your working directory? Okay, so what is your path? Then you have to simply print a pwd. That pwd command will give you where you are working. PWD means print working directory. It will show you are working in home CentOS. Okay, so you are working in home CentOS. Suppose you have been created demo, okay, directory, and you want to switch that CentOS into demo. Then what command will be used? Then if you want to go in demo, then you have to simply type cd. Cd stands for change directory. It means you are changing directory from CentOS to demo 3. Okay, so now here you can see that has been changed and it's showing that demo. So now you are in demo, and if you type pwd, then it will show you that path also. So that root path is home, then CentOS, and then demo 3. Why it's showing? Because CentOS created in home directory and demo is created in CentOS directory. Okay, so that's the reason it's showing. Okay, print working directory. Okay, so right now that in demo directory there is no file. If you are putting that ls-l or ls-ll, then it will nothing showing, because we haven't created any file or directory in this directory. Okay, so now if you want to back to the directory, previous directory, then what command you need to use? cd space dot dot. cd again stand for the change directory, and you have to put dot dot, but you have to remember sure that after cd you have to put a space, then dot dot. Okay, and simply press enter key. Okay, now you can see that you have been come to the CentOS. Okay, got it? Okay, so these are the file and directory it is showing. Okay, cd, ls, pwd, and cd. Okay, so now you have been created the file and directory. Suppose if you not required the demo and demo one which you have created file or directory, you want to delete this file or directory, then what command you required? For that you have to require that rm. If you want to delete any file, okay, any file, then the command is rm. Stand for remove. Okay, and if you want to delete a directory, then for that there is a separate command. I'll tell you that thing also. Okay, so by using rm command you can simply delete any of the file. So if you type rm demo, then it will ask you for the confirmation whether you want to delete or not. If you type no, then it's not gonna delete. Okay, here you can see that demo is all there only. Okay, and instead of if you no, if you press y, then the file will be deleted. Okay, that demo file is deleted. And if you want to delete directory, then what command you require? You have to type rmdir command, rmdir. Okay, and you want to delete a directory. Okay, because the rm is required to delete file, and if you want to delete directory, then you have to type rmdir. It means remove directory. Okay, so you are removing that directory here. Okay, so it doesn't ask you for the confirmation, it has been deleted. Okay, suppose if you have any data in directory, then rmdir command will not work. Okay, for that you have to use rm space hyphen rf, then file or directory name. It means that directory name. Okay, so now we have deleted the file also and directory also. Give me a moment. Okay, done. That one file has been deleted and one directory we have been deleted. Now do one thing, create one directory like a demo. Okay, and
So
now go
just
to
have
so yes.
Why it
Yes,
is showing total 4?
Sorry,
Is showing the total 4 files. When we click the ll, it is saying like total 4, right?
Yeah, because why it's showing, because it's that data having in cache, so that's the reason it's showing the total 4 file. Okay, after some time it will be show 2 only. Okay, so let me just check. Okay, so it's still showing 4. So once it is deleted from the backend, that will show only 2. Okay, so now go to the demo. Okay, we have been created one file, that is demo, and there is no file available. Okay, so nothing we have been put it. So do one thing, just create file, touch test. Okay, test file, test1 and test2. Okay, so now we have been put 3 files in demo directory. Got it? Okay, and now come to the back to the directory, and if you want to delete that demo directory, then it's not gonna delete. Okay, so for that you have to use a one command. Okay, let me back. Okay, demo, if you want to delete rmdir space demo. Okay, so here you are here giving the error message. Okay, fail to remove directory is not empty, because that directory having that multiple files inside of that directory, so that's the reason it's giving the error. For removing this type of directory, you have to type you have to delete this file recursively. Okay, for that you have to put that command rm space -rf, then your directory name. Okay, rm space -rf. Rm, it means remove, space -r, it means recursively, f means forcefully, and then directory name. Okay, when you enter, then directory has been deleted. Done? Got the point?
Yes.
Okay, so for that, you have to remember, this is rm space -rf. It will work both if you want to delete file, then you can use this rm-rf command also, and if you want to delete directory, then you can use that rm space -rf. Okay, this command will work on both type of file. It means it will work on file also, and it will work on directory also. Okay, okay, so let me create some more file, because there is only one file is there. Okay, touch. Okay, now we have created 3 files. Okay, so if you want to move this file, demo file, into other file or directory, then what command will required? Okay, and suppose if you want to rename this demo into other name, like a test file. Okay, whatever the file name if you want to put, then how to rename this file? For that you have to run a separate command, because Linux is completely command based operating system. Okay, so whatever the process, if you want to do in Linux, then you have to do practice on command level. It's provide the GUI, JNUFS also, that graphical interface also, but most of the organization is suggested to run your all the application and all the commands. It means on your command prompt only. So that is the main thing, you have to learn that commands. Okay, so one second, I'll discuss these thing also, why it's showing that hyphen rw and r. I'll discuss this thing also. So let me discuss firstly that few commands. Okay, so suppose if you want to move demo from right now you are in CentOS directory. Okay, and let the create one directory also, mkdir tst test. This is the directory name. Okay. Okay. So if you want to move demo from CentOS to test directory, then the command will be mv and that file name which you want to move. Okay, sorry, file name. Okay, and the directory name or location. So we are moving this file into the test. Okay, now see. Okay, that demo is moved into the test, so that's the reason it's not showing. Okay, test here. So simply if you go to the test directory, then you can see that demo is now here. Okay, and if you want to rename, okay, that mv command is used for the move the file and directory from one location to another. And if you want to rename any file or directory, then in that case that mv command is also used for the rename purpose also. Okay, so if you want to make changes, okay, if you want to change the name of the file, then the same thing you have to type that mv current name. Okay, and the whatever the name you want to put. So now you want to put test file. Okay, so this is the old name and this is the new name. Press enter. Okay, now check. Okay, so that has been changed into demo to test file. Okay, so by using mv command you can move one file or directory one location to another, or if you want to rename any file or directory, then you can, in that purpose you can also use mv command. Okay, okay, and move. If you want to copy this file from if you want to copy any file or directory from one location to another, then for that you have to run cp command. cp stand for copy command. Okay, so suppose you are you want to copy that test file into other location where right now you are in. If you want to check where you are working or what is your currently working directory, then simply type pwd. It will show you that current working directory. You are here, that test directory. Okay, so suppose you want to copy this file, okay, that test file, okay, into other location. Okay, so suppose you want to copy this file into CentOS. Okay, so this is current location. Okay, and this is the uh, destination location where you want to copy this file. Okay, it means this file show in current location also and destination location also. Press enter. Okay, now go to the CentOS and check whether file is there or not. Okay, yeah, here you can see that the test file is there. Okay, so by using cp command you can copy any of the file or directory. It will be work with for the both. Okay, so guys, if you want to do practice these type of command at in your system, then you can also, and I can help you out. Okay, if you want to do right now. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to do practice these commands at your level, at your side, then you can do also. I can wait, no issue. Okay, that you can if we face any issue, that will be clear right now only. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes. So
Okay. Yeah, tell me.
So the one I have AWS account, but I created Red Hat Linux one, not CentOS.
Oh, no issue, no issue. The both are same. Okay, Red Hat and Syrup, because that are a Linux distribution only, no. So whether you are using a Red Hat, CentOS, Fedora, it doesn't matter. Okay, some of the command having it means difference or different. Okay, so not the every command. Okay, so that command will run on Red Hat also. Okay, that will be work on there only. Okay, so if you have a right now that console, then simply type mkdir or vi, then it will be work there only, also in Red Hat also. Okay, so have you been installed, which version you have installed? 6, 7? Hello?
Yeah.
Which version you have installed? Mhm. Doesn't know.
No, I don't know.
Okay, I'll tell you that command also, how to find which operating system you are running. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Okay, so I think I have to continue. Okay, 1 second. So this is the basic command, okay, which you have to run on daily basis. Okay, and you already told me why cannot go directly with the CentOS. If you want to go, 1 second. Okay, now change the directory to root. Okay, so now you are in root directory. Okay, this is the main directory, and if you want to directly if you want to directly go into the CentOS, then cd, if you typing CentOS, it's showing there is no file or directory. Why it's not showing? Because that CentOS is not available in root directory. Okay, so what are the directories available in here? You can see that home directory. Now give me a moment. This is home directory, dev directory, that's belong to root directory, root path. Okay, so that is the reason you unable to go to directly, because CentOS is available in home directory. Okay, so let me discuss the absolute path and relative path. Okay, what is absolute path and relative path? Because most of the students confused between absolute path or relative path, and he doesn't know where he is working and what directory he need to go, and that is the little confusion is there when they are using Linux distribution. Okay, because all the things are command based. Okay, so that is the main thing. Okay, so let me tell you that absolute path. 1 second. Okay, so for the definition purpose, you can remember that absolute path always begin with a slash. Okay, that this slash. Okay, always begin with the slash. Or a relative path, it's doesn't be it means it doesn't start with the slash. Okay, so suppose if you want to go in cd slash home, because you already in home directory, home, then CentOS. Okay, what the mean of slash here? Because this home directory belongs to root. Okay, so here you are typing, because you knows that ki CentOS is available in home directory, so directly you are typing slash home then CentOS. Okay, so it means you are typing absolute path. Okay, so you are you directly went into the CentOS directory. Okay, if you type pwd, then here you can see that you are right now in CentOS. Okay, and what is relative path? If you doesn't know about the where CentOS is available, then simply what you do, you just change that, go to the slash home directory. Okay, and type ll. Okay, that CentOS is available, and when you change cd into CentOS, this is not a start with the slash. Now here you can see that. Okay, there is no slash. Okay, so it means it is a relative path of home directory, so that is the main difference. Okay, what is the absolute path or relative path? Okay, this is the main difference between absolute path or relative path. Okay, and give me a moment, and what other things I need to cover. Okay, okay, if you want to install any package in your Linux distribution, then one command you need to use, that is called yum. Okay, yum install. Whatever the application, if you want to install in Linux distribution, then you have to type this command yum install. Yum is a repository. Okay, so we will not I'll tell you brief about this. Simply you understand that yum is a repository. Okay, and whatever the command, if you want to install any type of software, then you have to type yum install and then package name. If you want to install httpd, okay, then you have to type yum install httpd. So yum is used for installation of package, and press enter. It's installing that application. It means that package. Okay, it is asking to install that. This is 24 MB, and installation size is 31 MB. Whether you want to install or not. If you press no, then it will be terminated, or if you type yes, then it will be installed. Okay, now it's installed. Okay, so one thing also I need to tell you. Give me a moment. So in Linux, or in CentOS, okay, if you are installing any package, then you have to install their service. You have to start their services. Okay, because right now, if you check status of this package, okay, httpt, then it will show you that a stop or it's not running. Okay, because you haven't started the httpd yet. Okay, so for that system. This is systemctl is a command. If you using CentOS 7 or Linux 7, then systemctl is command is used to start or stop the services. If you want to status of the services, then you have to type systemctl. Okay, if you want to start the services, then you have to type start. Okay, so now we are starting httpd service. So simply you have to type systemctl start httpd. Okay, I have made mistake in start. Okay, so now that uh, it's not giving any error, it means that command is executed successfully. Okay, so if you want to check status of the httpd, whether it has been started or not, then you have to simply type systemctl status httpd. Okay, it will show you the status of the httpd. Here you can see that active and running. Okay, and if you are stop these services, if you want to stop that httpd services, then simply type stop httpd. Okay, now just check the status. Now it show you that stop. Okay, inactive. Okay, so whenever you are installing any of the software, whether php, fpm, nginx, and httpd, so you have to check in MySQL case also, you have to start their services also. Okay, in database. So in database, in AWS database, we will discuss about that thing also. Simply you have to know, or you have to knowledge about the things. If you are installing any package or any application, then you have to start their services. Okay, so systemctl is a command to start, stop, or restart the. If you want to restart, then you have to simply, now status is off. If you want to restart httpd, then you have to type simply systemctl restart httpd. Now it will be restart. Okay, and one thing you can also do, enable. Okay, so why we are it means doing enable, because suppose currently you are working with the HTTPD, okay, and after some time you shut down that your server, okay, and after a moment again you started the server, then if you run the enable command, then the Apache server automatically started, okay. If you doesn't enable this service, then you have to again start the HTTPD by using that systemctl start command, okay. So when you type firstly, then this will give this message, okay, and again you are doing that, it means done, okay. That command has been executed, it's giving the message that command has been executed, okay. So now I'll show you the log, okay. So where the HTTP log is reside, okay. So for checking of log purpose, we have to go in where directory, okay, and where belongs to root directory. So firstly we have to type root, then where, and
Hi, Iftikhar,
then
sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, tell me.
Can you tell me again, like why we use enable?
Enable, okay. Right now you are working on the server. After a moment or after some issue or due to some issue, your server is got shut down, okay. So when you restart your server, then again you have to, if you are not enable these services, it means that enable, then you have to again type, again you have to start your HTTP services, okay. And if you run that enable command, then automatically it will be restarted. Got the point?
So once we log into the server, so if we enter like enable command before shutdown, so no need to enter the start and stop after the server is running, right?
Restart, exactly. Exactly, okay. Got it?
Yeah,
Hello?
got it.
Okay, okay. So now I'm showing that log file of this HTTPD where the log file is reside. Okay, so already I told you that where is belongs to this directory, that parent directory. Okay, okay. Simply type enter. Okay, so now you are in log directory. Okay, that where and log, and type ll. Okay, here you can see that. One second. Okay, so here you can see that HTTPD, okay, that all the file, it means it is showing link only because we haven't put in any data and we haven't accessed the HTTPD here in browser, okay. So that's the reason it's not created any uh, it means any log, okay. Here you can see that simply in log directory you can see that HTTPD log, that cron job. If you scheduling any job, then that cron job in cron file, all the it means information about your cron job, okay. All the information about your cron job, it reside into the cron. And d message system related error, okay, whatever, if that system giving any error or it's interrupted, or if that server automatically got shut down, then that error will be shown in d message. If you restart your server and check, then that error will be coming to d message, okay. And this is the, again this is the one of the thing, message, it will show you that message or who are using your system, okay, and who logged in your system, okay. And secure is also one thing, it will take you it will show you how many users is logged in and what user is currently working on your server. If you cat, I'll tell you, cat secure, okay. So this is the thing, here I am using from the individual user, so it's root user, so that is the log file, okay. If you, it means login into the with the other user, then it will show you the other details also, okay. Let me go to the one second. That's where last HTML query and index dot html. One second. So we have installed HTTPD. Okay, 1 second. Here we are, clear the screen. Okay, so we have installed HTTPD. Now I have been putted one file in. It means some data into the HTTPD. If you want to access that files or data in your browser, then you have to go with this. 1 second. That public IP. This copy public IP. And open your browser and paste it. Okay, it is showing this is a demo server. Here you can see that I have been putted some data. 1 second, I'll tell you. Okay, so slash where w slash html. Okay, so if you want to put any data, okay, in a Apache browser, so then you have to create a one file index.html. Okay, so I have been created one file index.html. Okay, and if you are putting anything in this file, okay, so then it will be reflect on your browser. If you want to access this file, then you can able to access this file on your browser also. So from vi editor, if you go and put here, I have been put it, this is a demo server. Okay, if you want any other data, then this is the demo server for website. For website hosting. Okay, you have put a data into the index.html. Okay, it's not required to restart your Apache server. If you do, it's better. It's good. Okay, it's good for. Okay, right. And refresh it. Now it's showing. This is a demo server for website hosting. Okay. Now log and have to go to in /var directory and /log directory. Enter. Here HTTPD is reside. Okay. So then we have to go to HTTPD. Okay. And there will be two log is created, access log and error log. So in access log, it will show you the IP of your system, your computer, who have been access your Apache server HTTP, who have been hitted on your HTTPD, and error log. If they got any error, okay, then the error in error log, that data will be shown. So let me check access log firstly. Okay, there is no data. Okay, and this is the IP address, public IP address. So from this IP address, that Apache is accessed. Okay, and if you want to read error log, okay, so there is no error, it's showing by default. Okay, so in while installing this type of, if you have any error, then it will show in error log. Okay, got the point? Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we have been covered. Let me check what.
And one more question: what is the difference between like public IP and private IP?
By public IP, okay, so if you are using public IP, it means anyone can access your data. Okay, and if you're using private IP, then it is for that privately. It is secure for the it means environment. Okay, so it's no one can able to access by the private IP. Okay, the public is publicly, by the name you can think. Okay, got the point? It's a publicly, anyone can see, anyone can visit. By private IP, it's not possible because that private IP is not allowing them to do anything. Got the point? Hello.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So these are the things we have been covered. Okay. And okay, the main things, let me tell you once again. CD home. Okay, here you can also see that I am typing absolute path. Okay, if we want to go in home CentOS directory, then /home. It means that homes belong to parent directory. Parent directory, that is called home, and CentOS is belongs to home directory. So this is the absolute path. Okay, so here you can see that when you press ll list the file and directory. So what is the mean by this, what is the mean by this, what is the mean by this? Because okay, I'll tell you what it's indicating. Okay, the main thing, when you listing your file and directory, okay, the first column show you if having that dash, it means it is a file. Okay, and if showing, one second, D, okay, it means it is a directory. Okay, if it is showing dash, then it means a file, or if it is showing D, it means a directory. Or if it is showing L as an L, it means link, because we haven't created any link, so that's the reason it's not showing. If you go to the root directory, then it may any link is there. One second, LL, yeah, here you can see that L stand for the link. Here you can see that now whatever the data available in bin, that is reflect in user bin also. Okay, it means link. Okay, that D stand for directory. Okay, and dash stand for the file. Okay, so now again come to the home directory. Okay, so after this, what RW is representing? It's representing that owner. That first three column here you can understand, here you can easily understand. Come to the this line. So that RWX, it means that owner having read, write, execute access. Okay, and here you can see after RWX again R-X, it means that group having read and execute access only. Okay, and the third is X, it means that other is execute permission only. Okay, it doesn't have the permission to read or write. Okay, it can only execute. Okay, so this is the thing. One second, I'll tell you the permission also. Okay, so okay, so this represent the permissions and this represent the link. Okay, this represent the link. What is the link? One second. Okay, so this represent a one is link. Okay, one link, two link. Okay, and this root, it means this is a root. It means a user who is the owner of a demo file is a root, and that root is where root is in group. This represent the user, or this column represent the group. It means this is the user and this is the group. And when you have been created, one second. Okay, so it is a size. Okay, it is a 30 is a size of a file. Okay, you have been created this file in April 20. When you have been created at 2 p.m. Okay, 2 p.m. because this is showing that universal UTC time. So that is it's showing that 2 p.m. You have been created this file. So whenever you want to check what what permission this file having, and who is the owner of this file, and what group it's belong to, then you can simply check with this. Okay, if you want to change permission, then simply you have to run chmod command. Okay, so now demo having that owner having read write permission only, that doesn't having execute permission, then you have to simply type x and then file or directory name. Okay, there is no error, it means that command has been executed. So here you can see that owner having read write access, and group also having only read access, and other also having read access. So here I have been provided that execute permission also. So when you type list this file, then that permission has been changed. Here you can see that demo having read write execute permission, and the user having, and that group having read and execute permission, and other having write and execute permission. Okay, so this by this you can change the permission of your file and directory. Okay, so actually Linux, why it's required, why permission is required? Linux is a multi-user system. Okay, so for the prevention of file or directory, that permission is required, who is able to access this file, who is not able to access this file. Okay, so that is the main thing. So that purpose, we have to mention, or we have to put a credential to the particular file or directory. Okay, so this permission can be controlled by the three level. It means read level, or sorry, user level, group level, or other level. Okay, so here you can already understand user, group, and other level. Okay, and what permission they have, you can give read, write, or execute permission. Okay, got the point? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so if you want to change, suppose here we have been provided we have been changed permission by, it means putting a alphabet. Okay, you can numerically also you can change the file or directory permission, like chmod. One second. Chmod. Okay, if we putting 764. Okay, I'll tell you about the 764 also. Okay, so if we putting 764, what is the mean by 7? 7 is, it means full permission, full admin permission. To whom? Owner. And 6 is read or write permission. To whom? Group. It means three letters are three numbers are there, na? That first one is belongs for owner, second one is belongs for group, and third is belong for other user. Other means anyone. Okay, so for other user we are giving 4. It means only read permission. When you type ll, okay, so here you can change that, again the permission has been changed. Okay, that owner having read, write, execute permission. Okay, and group having read, write permission, and other having only read permission, that he can only read, he cannot make any changes in this file or directory. Okay, so simply I'll tell you one thing, one minute. So
Just want to be in same page. So first one is like it represents link or a file or a directory, right?
No,
I mean,
no.
here.
Here.
Yeah. In that one, the first one is representing like a link
No.
or direct file.
No. I'll tell you. If it's start with the dash, it means this is file. Okay. Whenever you see there are multiple files, okay, available. Okay, there you can see that here. Okay, there are multiple file and directory is available. Okay, so whenever it start with the L, it means it is a link, and if it start with the dash, it means it is a file. Got the point? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. And
What about next three? Yeah.
Yeah, if it is start with the D, it means it is a directory. Got the point? Hello.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, got it. Can you tell what is the order? Like first one is like admin or I mean root, group, and user.
Okay. No. One second. So order is every time here. Better you can understand here that I have been highlighted. It means it is a directory. That first one is honor, second one is a group, and third one is anyone other. Okay. So that file and directory permission can be controlled by the three level: user level, group level, or other level. So it means that three letters are representing honor. That other three, because it doesn't have the permission, full permission. Give me a moment. Okay, here you can see that here the directory having all the permission. It means this is the root user, and here you can see that user having read, write, execute permission, and that group also having read, write, execute permission, and other also having read, write, and execute permission. Okay, not T. The T belongs to other thing. So read and write permission and termination for read, write, and execute permission. Okay, so this is the thing. So here you can also provide, once again, better you give your file only now, full permission, that you can understand easily. 777. Okay. So here you can see that this file having that honor also having the full permission, read, write, execute, group also having full permission, read, write, execute, and that other also having that read, write, execute permission. So all having the read, write, execute permission. It means anyone can make changes in this file. Got the point?
Yeah, got it now. Thank you.
Okay. So, and here I have mentioned that 777. It means why? First 7 is present the honor, and second one is group, third one is other. So by numerically you can also give a permission. If you are putting 0, then it means there is no. Suppose if you are running this command and if you want to put here 0, it means you are giving no permission to other. It means other user cannot able to see or view your file even. Here you can see that all permission has been removed, that only honor and group having read, write, execute permission. Okay, so by numerically you can also set the permission by 0. If you are putting 0, then it means you are giving no permission, and if you are putting 1, it means you are putting execute permission, and if you are putting 2, it means you are giving write permission, and if you are putting 3, then it means you are giving the file execute and write permission both. And if you are putting 4, it means any number. If you putting 4, it means you are giving read permission only, and if you are putting 5, so it means you are giving read and execute permission, and if you putting 6, it means you are giving read or write permission, or if you are putting 7, it means you are giving read, write, execute all permission. Got the point? Okay. I haven't it means created that PPT. Okay, because last night only I got the message you doesn't have a much idea about the Linux operating system, so that is the main thing. Okay, so hello.
Yeah. After this permission, there is a dot, right? So what it indicates is doesn't have any level, any group level or anything like that.
Sorry.
After permissions, there is a dot, right? Right after permissions, execute permissions. At end of the there is a dot.
Yeah.
So does
Dot,
it mean
it means it is separating it is separating the file. Okay, there is not it's showing a dot, it's separating. It means that first here it's showing that it means here I already told you, this is it's belong to file, okay, and it is showing the permission, okay, and it's showing the link root. It's separating the file. It does nothing. It's not a matter, okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
This is a special format, okay. So you cannot make changes in this thing, okay. So
One more.
okay,
Why it is changed to green color demo 1?
because you have made changes now. You have made changes, so that's the reason it's that color has been changed. It is okay. So if you want to make changes of your if you are creating any script, okay, and if you want to change that color, then color coding is also available in Linux, okay. So by default that creator that who have make this image now, that CentOS, they have put it their own script, okay. If user make any changes in this in file or directory, then the color will be green to blue or white. So that have been already the code is reside, that script is residing to the operating system. So that's the reason that color has been changed, okay. Got the point?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so this is the thing that you can change the permission. Suppose if right now that demo 3 owner is root, and that also reside in root group, okay. So suppose if you want to change owner, or suppose if you want to change group, then what will be the command? So that ch on, okay, ch owner, it means it stand for the ch on, it means change owner, okay. I'll tell you, 1 second. Okay, so if you want to change that owner of this file, okay, right now that owner is root, okay. If you want to uh, change that owner like CentOS, okay, so cent 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 OS, okay. Ravi is also created now. I have been created one ch owner file name, and then demo 1, okay. So this is the command, and this is the file or directory name, okay, which you want to change the ownership of the file, and then that new owner name. So new owner name is Ravi. We have been created Ravi user, demo owner ch owner. 1 second, why it's showing that invalid? Demo 1 ch owner invalid user demo. As Ravi as ownership of file. File name.
I think we need to give ch on Ravi and then demo 1. Is it right?
1 second. We will check that one also. 1 second. It may. Yeah. 1 second. Demo 1. Yeah. Great. Okay. So now here you can see that owner has been changed to Ravi. Okay. Previously that owner is root, okay. So now that it is a Ravi, that owner is Ravi. Got the point? Okay. If you want to change group, okay, right now it's a root group. Okay, if you want to change group, then the command will be change chgrp. Okay, new group name is APA Apache. Okay, and then filer. Okay, okay, here you can see that we have been changed that root to Apache. Okay, we have been changed this group also. Okay, so if you want to change any owner, then you have to simply type ch owner command and then new owner name and then file name. If you want to change group, then you have to type chgrp with new group name and then file or directory name. Got the point?
So we already have that Apache group earlier, or
No, actually when we have installed Apache, when we have installed the Apache, by default it has been created one Apache user and one Apache group. Okay, Apache we have installed HTTPD.
yes, got it. Yes, got it. Yeah.
Okay,
So that is the
so
default created
yes,
by.
yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so if you want to add any user or if you want to add any group, then what will be the command? Okay, that is the thing. This is the last topic of the today's session. Okay, if you want to use add any user, so if you want right now, if you want to put add any user, then simply you have to type. Once again, give me a moment. Okay, so if you want to see any it means all the group file, group once again, cat /etc group group. Okay, here you can see that all the group has been created. Okay, whether you have been created some of the created by the system also. Okay, that Apache group is there. Here you can see that you have been asked where the Apache came from. Okay, so it's came from the HTTPD, and here you can see that by this command, if you want to see that what the group, then you can simply run /etc group. Okay, and if you want to see users, then passwd, I think. Okay, passwd. If you want passwd, if you type passwd, then it will show you what are the users available. CentOS is one user, Ravi which we have been created, and Apache when we have installed HTTPD, then it has been created. Got the point? Okay, I think the doubt has been cleared. Okay, so now come to the point. If you want to add any user, then what will be the command? That command is add user add. Okay, user and then add and then name. I have been created Ravi. Now I am creating Ravi1. Okay, that has been created. If you want to view whether the user is created or not, you can simply type cat means if you want to see or if you want to read any of the file, then you have to type cat. From the beginning of the session, I already told you about the cat. So cat /etc and passwd. Here you can see that Ravi has been created. Okay, and where it is that the path in home directory that Ravi1 is created. Got the point? If you whenever you want to add any user, then you have to type Ravi. If you want to put any password, then you have to put passwd and then username. Command is passwd and then Ravi. Okay, when you type passwd, it means you are putting the passwd. Passwd command with the name of the user to whom you are putting the password. When you enter, then it will ask you the password, new password. Whatever the password you want to put, just put it and press it enter. Then it will ask you to reconfirm. Okay. I have been putted that less than 8 characters, so that's the reason it's showing that you have been putted that less than 8 characters. Okay, so press it enter. Now that password has been updated successfully. Okay, So by using passwd Ravi passwd command, you can put the password to the user. Suppose if you want to add any group, then what will be the command? Okay, so the command will be the group group add, and this is demo classes. Okay, okay, so group admin has been created, and that command for creating group, it is a group add. If you want to see whether the group has been created or not, simply you have to type this cat etc and group. Okay, here you can see that demo classes has been created. Got the point? Hello?
Yes, got it.
Okay, so I think I have been covered all the basic of Linux. Okay, so now if you have any doubt, then you can ask me, otherwise we will wrap for the day. Is there any doubt? Because from tomorrow we will start with the AWS, because today's class totally based on the Linux. Okay, because these command will be used in entire session. Okay, whether you are it means whether it will be DevOps class, whether it will be AWS class, we are entire it means session we will use these type of commands. Okay, so 1 second. By using history command, you can see the history, what command we have been run today. Okay, here you can see that these are the command which I have run. Okay, so let me check if it is possible. I'll send you these commands to you. Okay, these are the commands. So today we have been it means it's showing 162, but we have it means run that 20 approx 20 commands we have been created today. Okay, so is there any doubt?
No, we are good.
No, we are good.
Okay, so can we wrap for the day? So tomorrow we will start with the intro part of the AWS, and then we will go with the IAM user. Okay, so tomorrow we will discuss about the tomorrow session. Okay, so okay, fine. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Fikar.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
Let's close this one.